Hello and welcome to my educational training video presented by me, Bethany Ann Wood, on the Scanning Electron Microscope. I'll be showing you how the machine works, how to use it and what it is used for. The Scanning Electron Microscope, or SEM, works by producing a focused beam of high-energy electrons and scanning across a sample surface. When the electrons hit the sample, they generate signals such as secondary and backscatter electrons, which give information about the surface texture and composition. Detectors collect these signals and a computer converts them into a detailed image. The whole system operates in a vacuum, so the electron beam can travel clearly to the sample. And here is the SEM machine that we use in our university setting at Blackburn-Fylde University campus. Here I'm just showing you a sample of some pre-prepared pads that we've got that's been in the machine already and some blank ones. We then have a choice of a conductive or a non-conductive stage that goes into the machine, depending if you are using an organic or inorganic sample. To apply the sample to the pad, we use colloidal graphite. This is easy to apply. It's conductive, and so this prevents image distortion within the machine, and it's stable in the vacuum. Whilst I prepare the sample and enter it into the machine, you'll note that I'm wearing gloves. This is to prevent any oils or grease from my fingers getting onto the sample or getting into the machine, causing damage or interfering with the image. Just to make sure that the sample is adhered properly, there's a couple of puffs with a little puffer, and then popping the sample into the stage and just making sure that the top of the sample is just below the rim of the stage there. As I load in the stage, and shutting the door, that locks the door, and the computer system loads up the first image. This is not yet in SEM mode. Just to note that I have already warmed up the machine, as it takes a little while to get it ready to use, and also that the machine was only serviced just the weekend before. This is also a self-calibrating machine. This first image allows you to zoom around and look at the different items on the image and note any point of interest that you might want to zoom into and look at further. When you have found an area that you want to investigate further, you can select the SEM mode and then that will focus in. So you'll hear the pump kick in, creating the vacuum in the machine, and then the electrons begin firing, giving off the higher resolution image. It can take a little time for the image to appear from the SEM, as the image is built line by line as the electron beam scans across the sample. This can be fast or slow, but the slower scans produce a higher quality image, as the beam spends more time on each point. Then the detectors collect the signal, giving less noise but better detail. And then of course the computer needs time to process this and assemble the frame. So if the scan rate is slow, you can see the image gradually sharpen as the system finishes the frame. Clicking the autofocus button on the computer brings the image into clearer focus, but of course every time you click a button, move the focus, move the attention, the electron beams has to be recalibrated, readjusted to bring the new image into focus. Here we're at 5 Hz scan speed and 185 times magnification. And again, we can zoom in and increase the magnification and look at any points of interest. We can zoom in further into the image or any bits of interest, increasing the magnification up to 700 times magnification. and then look to go into settings and change it to 10 Hertz speed scan, and again click autofocus, and you can have a zoom around. I think I get to the point of zooming up to 2500 times magnification. You can start seeing clearer structures and features of the sample. You can also take sizes from the references on the screen. You're also able to take pictures straight from the screen and upload those or save those in documents. The SEM looks at things in such fine detail of the material surface at very high magnification. It's commonly used in many different sciences. In biology, it's used to look at shapes of shells, cells, tissues, insects, microorganisms, giving a 3D view like of their surfaces. In engineering, manufacturing, it can also be used to identify defects, contamination, and electrical components. Also used in forensic work, such as gunshot residue, paint fragments, and fibres. And then in geology, it can also be used to study minerals, rocks and fossils at microscopic levels, revealing textures and the chemical compositions. And it's also used in research in quality control to measure particle size and identifying materials. Inside the SEM, electrons are released from the electron gun, accelerated to high speeds, and then focused into a fine beam that moves in a precise pattern over the sample, generating signals, and the detectors convert this into the image. The magnification of the SEM is controlled by how large an area the beam scans compared to the size of the image on screen. So when the machine scans a very small area, the small patch is stretched to fill the display, creating a high magnification image. The 5, 10 and 15 Hz settings refers to how many image frames the machine produces per second, and this affects how quickly the picture appears and how clear it is. The lower Hertz values slow down the scanning and allow more signal to be collected, often improving detail. Whereas sometimes the higher Hertz values can produce a lower quality image as it's just gone too far and so loses clarity. So by using the different scan speeds and finding the optimum magnification, you can discover the smallest structure like fibrous looking molecules, proteins or anything, and compare these to known items to understand what the sample might be. Of course, as with anything, this is a college lab setting, and so there are higher quality machines in top labs that can achieve much higher resolution and magnification, imaging absolutely minute details. There are a few limitations of the machine, such as living or wet samples can only be placed in the vacuum if they have been specially prepared first, and it also only gives grayscale images and just the surface structure, no internal detail or chemical structure. Further testing would be required for those. Once you have found all your information, saved all your pictures and taken all your measurements, you can eject your sample. The machine powers down, releasing the vacuum, ensuring it is safe to do so before the door will unlock. Just thought I'd also note we also have a gold sputterer, as non-conductive materials can charge under the electron beam, causing image distortion, so they often have to be coated with a thin layer of metal, in this case gold, which slightly alters the surface and so the image is readable. So just to finish off, here are a few other shots of interest showing the clear, minute, detailed images and their magnification levels that the SEM can achieve. I especially like the little pollen particle at the end. And many thanks for watching.